And let me apologize. I did a video today which was very, very angry. I'm angrier than regular angry. It was like worse angry.
Yeah.
Some people are playing my son's medication in the mail, and they've been holding to my son's medication for like 2 weeks. And when you fuck with my son's medication, you know that's not y'all. You know you're a father, so you know how it is. So.
No one seems to draw the line, even when it comes to kids. So, but y'all know what happened. So,
But we still wanted to make sure we put this information out there for you because we got some fantastic information that I think you're going to find very intriguing. I promise you, we're going to show you something you've never seen. I promise you, you're going to find something very, very... It's sad but exciting because if you see it, you know, you're going to understand that this thing with Mr. George Floyd was not an accident, and we're going to show you in his numbers. We're going to show you how Mr. George Floyd was in the algorithm. We're also going to show you we're going to also show you that...
We're going to get into a bunch of stuff.
But we're also going to reveal to you the new messenger.
Yeah.
The new messenger appeared to have been chosen, and I'm verifying some things, but we appeared to have found the new messenger.
Yeah, we stumbled across some information, and we found...
But
it's crazy. We're going to let you see for yourself.
So we wanted to start off with letting you know that this whole sacrifice thing is crazy as it sounds. We found out our governments are taking part in this. And we want to start off with what took place in Texas. Uvalde School District, they suspended their entire police force.
Yep.
And you got to understand, for the entire police force to have stood outside and waited for an hour where children, babies were being massacred because someone told them not to go inside. Someone very, very powerful has to be at the helm to be able to tell 100 armed police officers to wait. And because of that, someone is watching, but you understand that they needed to let this thing happen because they needed the massacre. They needed the blood. This was another sacrifice. But now they've got to look into this because they've gotten too many eyes on this. So you want to listen to, I'm going to what?
Yeah, so I'm going to, so for all of you who are not from the States and you are not familiar with this, this is a particular school shooting that happened quite recently. I believe it was sometime in May, and it was sometime in May. What was the date for this? Yeah, it just says in May. I'll find out exactly. You know what? I can find out exactly when it was.
I'll look for it. You go ahead. I got it.
Okay. So Santana's going to get that date for you. So for now, I want to show you guys pretty much what happened. It'll kind of give you like a brief scenario, snip of like what took place at this school shooting, because we've had many school shootings in the United States, unfortunately, but this particular one, the 24th, okay, May 24th, 2022 or 2021? 2022. So this particular shooting was so egregious because the police officers stayed outside for over an hour while they heard the children screaming, the teachers were screaming, and rapid fire is going. So they're literally listening and witnessing murder take place with full armor on and everything, and they stood outside for an hour.
But they were told to stay outside.
Absolutely.
They were told to understand that this is not the policy. The policy is to, when there's an active shooter.
Yep, here we go.
Okay.
You know what? They're not going to believe you. Let's let them tell you, okay?
I won't believe me.
The fact that there was a 1 hour delay while officers waited for backup is shocking to many in law enforcement. ABC 10's Brendan Redmond was on the scene the night of the Aurora Theater shooting. He's covered active shooters extensively. And Brandon, what did that detail surprise you?
Oh, come on. It's my internet, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, it's frankly really hard to think, Madison, of anything that would justify a 1 hour delay for police to actually go into the classroom. It's a grim part of the job that police officers sign up for, but they are trained to not wait for backup before they go in to try to stop an active shooter. That's been the standard now for 2 decades because of hard lessons police
20
learned
years.
in 1999. When the shooting starts, every second counts. Local officers got there 4 minutes after the gunman hopped the fence at Robb Elementary, according to state police, but then they waited.
The initial officers, they receive gunfire. They don't make entry initially because of the gunfire they're receiving. But we have officers calling for additional resources. We need body armor. We need precision riflemen, negotiators. Approximately an hour later, U.S. Border Patrol.
So I want you to understand that
This is what they told the press. This is what they came out and told the world after they allowed these children to be massacred.
So I want you to understand this, that these things have been taking place so frequently and so rapidly and so just every day now. They try to slip them past you, but this was allowed to happen, and this happened to a school full of Mexican children.
Yep.
Because they knew that these were not going to be high prioritied. And do you know the people in Mexico don't even know about what happened in Uvalde to the Mexican children?
No, they don't.
Like literally, it's not even news here in Mexico. They don't even know. But they went to that school because these children, the outrage would not be the same because it was done to Mexican children that it would have been done if this had been American-born children. I'm sorry. What we're calling American children. I don't subscribe to these labels.
Right.
I'm simply saying.
Right.
This was allowed to happen to them.
Absolutely. So we wanted to give some good energy towards this because this is showing that things are moving in the right way, because we know that when this thing is being watched and observed, when they can't have all these eyes and see, what happened was all of those 100-some-odd police officers that they had out in that front yard, well, you know what they had when they get off? They got a house, they got a family, they got to go home. And they got to have family that's saying, hey, what the fuck happened? Why didn't you go in?
And you can't forget babies crying.
No.
That's nothing that you're going to
Listen, the first responding female officer, the school police officer that was on the school premises when it first happened, they have her on audio and they hear her saying, I'm not going to lie, if my kids were in there, I would have ran in there. But she didn't run in there for those other people's children. So, you guys, these schools are not safe.
These things are allowed to happen.
Yeah, and you don't know.
They're allowed to happen. And it's not just these little things. It's everything. We want to start off with Uvalde just to let you know that people are watching them, and people are becoming aware of these patterns and so forth. So we wanted to bring your attention to something that's in the news today.
Mr. George Floyd.
Mr. George Floyd.
So everybody is up in arms because of this documentary right here. The greatest lie ever sold about the Black Lives Matter fraud scam and everything. And they have Candace Owens is the one that spearheaded this project.
So,
and everybody's got their feelings about this.
Can I please explain to you how this is taking place, because I'm the master of it. It happens to me all the time. Trust me. So what's taking place is this. There's a documentary being put out by Candace Owens revealing some different things in reference to the George Floyd case and Derek Chauvin case. You're going to find that this was a sacrifice. This was definitely a sacrifice. George Floyd's numbers were in the algorithm. We're going to point them out to him. We're going to show you. But you're also going to find that they let the devil under the rules of this plane. We have to be informed of everything. So the devil has tricked us this time around, and the devil has allowed Candace Owens to give us the message of what wasn't said. And basically, because you don't like Candace Owens, no one's going to really hear what she's saying. So basically, this is the equivalent of Hitler giving the message of the Jews in the Holocaust camp. So that's the kind of reaction
it's just like Trump exposing the FBI are corrupt. But it's Trump saying it.
So
yeah.
So with this here, the way she presents the story is disgusting.
Yes, it is. It's deplorable how they drove this vehicle.
And the devil
is sick.
And the devil, people don't understand that the devil doesn't want either side to win. The devil is only happy with the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here, you have both sides, and both sides are ugly, and it's just going to be a fight. And this is an unwinnable fight because it's just a distraction. But if we can look past the distraction of Black Lives Matter or the distraction of Candace Owens' disgusting and grotesque comments and commentary, we can find this whole thing was a setup.
Yeah,
whole thing was
she's so dumb. The craziest part is they set her up to do these stupid things, right?
Floyd
they set her up to do this thing, and then she's too stupid to even see what she's actually revealing, because she did reveal something very huge in this documentary, and it's got nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with his crime. Well, actually, it does have something to do with his crimes, but she doesn't understand the true perspective of how it matters about his crimes and fentanyl and all these different things.
So her documentary is deplorable. I would definitely, but there's some things that you might want to take a look at.
Right.
But if you want to find out whether or not this was an accidental thing or whether this is planned, you're going to find out. We're going to go into a little further as we go into the numbers. But this was in the cards when George Floyd was dying, and he was under the car. What was posted above him was he was being killed. He was dying under the police car, and above the police car wrote Minneapolis Police, and Minneapolis is nothing more than my knee a police. My knee a police is Minneapolis. All of this is written, it's in the algorithm. We'll walk you through all of this stuff. But this was a sacrifice, and this was a sacrifice.
Yes, it was.
Derek Chauvin was a scapegoat. However, he's still a deplorable human being.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
He should be in prison. Well,
let's just say this. Everyone played their part.
Everyone played their part, including, unfortunately, watch it again, I'm sorry, George Floyd. I don't know if he knew he was going to die, but you can understand that nothing was said to George Floyd when the police came to him, and he said before anything was said to him, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yep.
But he was not being accused of anything yet.
They hadn't even asked him
this
anything.
This whole thing was a setup from the people inside calling to the police to George Floyd outside waiting in the car with counterfeit goods. I want you to understand this whole thing was a setup. For them to say understand this whole thing was set up, please watch it again.
And listen,
it's hard to see.
And I'm not going to play the documentary. I considered commentating on the documentary as it went on, but I don't want to keep putting those images out because they are traumatizing images, and
today was the first day we saw him.
In fact, George Floyd's situation is when I looked at Santana and told him all of this Black Lives Matter shit is fake.
But we already knew that anyway.
Yeah, but no, I really knew that as soon as all of that stuff started happening, because it didn't make any sense. And see, that's the thing. That's the angle that Candace is pretending that she came from, is, well, why are they making us think of him this way when, we don't even know what was really going on. We don't even have all of the footage and all these different kinds of things. And she's saying that she felt compelled to look at the other side of the story because she felt like we were all being forced to look at one angle, which is correct, because that's exactly how they did Charles Manson and managed to keep him in prison for 40 years.
And Wuornos too.
Yeah, and Eileen Wuornos. So the media does do that. That is 100% correct. The media is corrupt. The media puts out who they want to be put out, what messages they want to be put out. They have full control of that. 100%. Candace Owens is correct about that, and Kanye West is correct about that. All right, but while I'm watching this documentary, I'm taking outside of any kind of political, I have no political stance in this.
I'm just looking for the pattern.
Right. So I'm just looking for the truth, right? Because I've never seen it, and I know Black Lives Matter, the whole thing was a scam. But so anyway, so we get into it. So I said, okay, let me look at Mr. Floyd, because listening to what was happening, Candace Owens' point when this whole documentary was saying that it wasn't asphyxiation that killed George Floyd, it was actually an overdose of fentanyl, because apparently Mr. Floyd had a very high level of fentanyl that would have been considered deadly under any other circumstances. So
it was enough to kill 3 people.
It was enough to kill 3 people. Yeah, that is exactly what the coroner said in the court proceedings. In the court proceedings, the documentary, we're literally taking snippets from the court proceedings. So the idea that anyone's trying to say that Kanye said something about George Floyd's family and what's going on with him is absurd, because he literally just quoted a documentary. The documentary supported what they were saying with court video footage. So all of that stuff is just absurd. So anyway, so I start to look at what's really going on. So I look at Mr. Floyd. So naturally, I know that he died in 2020. What I needed to know was, what was Mr. Floyd doing 13 years prior to 2020? So I go in to look into what he's going on, and I find out, he's from North Carolina. He played basketball and football. He was a really, really big guy. I didn't even know how big he was. He was very athletic, but somehow or another he began to just deal with regular life, and you end up in 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Majority of black men. That's just what the existence is, and let's just be real about things. Alright, so I wanted to look at his criminal history. So it begins to go into, what kind of things Mr. Floyd was into in his past. So it says between 1997 and 2005, Floyd was arrested several times on drug and theft charges, spending months in jail. Around that time, Wayne's mother, Sheila Masters, recalled running into Floyd in the street and learning that he was homeless. He was so tall, he'd pat me on my head and say, "Mama, it's going to be all right," Master says. So here he goes saying mama. So mama is kind of like a loose word. It's an endearing word for him, okay? So this is when it gets this is when my antenna peaks up. So then we go from Santana. 2005. Santana. Yes, my Santana. So we jump from 2005 to him doing a few months in prison, and then we get to 2007, which would bring us to the 13-year mark of 2020. 2007, Floyd was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. Investigators said that he and 5 other men barged into a woman's apartment, and Floyd pushed a pistol into her abdomen before searching for items to steal. Floyd pleaded guilty in 2009 and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. By the time he was paroled, it was January 2013. He was nearing 40 years old. Now, if you all did not pick up what I just read, I am showing you that they are telling you about his criminal background. And 1997 to 2005, they just basically summed it up like he's just like a petty theft kind of guy.
But all of the crimes that he did, he basically is the exact same crime.
Yeah.
But it wasn't noteworthy.
Nope. And literally, they give you a range. They didn't give you specific dates for each time. It's literally through a span of 1997 and 2005. This dude was pretty much like a petty thief, just doing anything. These things could be on anybody's, whatever. So anyway, But in 2007, things get very, very detailed for some reason.
Right, character builders.
You know, these are serious character builders because they specifically say that Floyd pushed the pistol into a woman's abdomen before searching and stealing her items. Now, understand that.
What happened in this other robbery?
Yeah, because understand that no, they don't speak of guns or anything like that.
Any other time.
But it's still theft. It's still theft. And Candace Owens in her documentary, you can see it for yourself. If you guys want me to go over it, you can put it in the comments. That's fine. But you guys gotta give me consent that y'all want me to put those images up there, because
if you're able to get a comment to us.
Right, if you can get the comment to me. But anyway, so where was I?
If you want the Candace Owens, if you want to.
Oh yeah, no, I was trying to get to something else before that. But anyway, so 2007, they got very, very, very detailed into who this guy is. You know, like you wouldn't have known anything about him with those prior charges. But 2007 was the one, and 2007 was also the one when he actually had to go to prison for 5 years. Okay, he was paroled in 2000 and what?
13.
13.
Yeah.
13. He was marked in 2007. Okay? But they have to get you on that 13. They have to get you on that 13. So basically, his rebirth was kind of like in 2013 when he got paroled. Okay? 13 years after 2007, where is Mr. George Floyd?
2020.
2020, May 24th, no, I'm sorry, May 25th, George Floyd has ascended.
My knee, a police.
My knee, a police. So understand that, listen, 13 years after he was marked with this story, this very, very characterized, very, very specific story, 13 years after that, he is murdered and turned into a martyr.
That's correct.
So understand that there is something to this.
Oh yeah.
Now, the way that Candace Owens has done this is so sickening. It's so disrespectful.
Very.
And you know, to try to, she uses words a certain kind of way.
She's disgusting.
She's very leading.
She's disgusting.
And it's very obvious too. You know, she starts off her documentary when she starts talking to George Floyd's roommates by saying, it's safe to say that you guys probably know him the best. Now, George Floyd lived with them for about 4 years. Okay? Now, I don't know what his situation was with his families, but you know what? Sometimes families cut their family off, and that could have possibly very well been that time period.
She's disgusting.
You know, but she has to validate her evidence by leading you
get out. She's
to
black, she can
believe
get out.
what she's saying. Definitely, she definitely get out. And she is pushing an agenda, and she wanted to picture this man as a bad guy.
This disrespectful.
You know, and it was just so disrespectful, and it was a way to do what she did in a much more respectful manner.
It was tasteless.
You know, because it is something to the fentanyl thing. Okay, yeah. It is something to it, but I'm saying that you lose people when you start to bring in your
stupid.
Yeah, you're stupid. That's basically what it is. So, George Floyd, he's all in the algorithm. 13 years he was marked with his crime, and see, and that's what I was also trying to explain. These guys that go into the system, a couple of different things happen to them. You know, first the fear and possible rapings and being away from your home, being away from your family, your children, your wife, your whoever, you know, being free. You know, just being a regular human being, you're already dealing with that, and then when you get in there, then you get propositioned you want to get out. Well, if you want to get out, I need you to do this. And anytime I call you, I'm going to need you to do it. And you can't ask me what it is. You just got to show up and do it. And if you don't, you're going to be right back in here. But you can do this, and you can be free. And it'll be on your own time.
When your number's called, it's called.
So that's what's happening. Just like I pointed out to you guys the other day, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer got to do this for 13 years. So, you know, it's and I'm just finding out, and thank you guys for the comments. I saw that Jeffrey Dahmer apparently was in the military and was a great swimmer, and you know, so this guy was not just a weirdo. I mean, he was that. He was definitely that, but it was a lot more to this character, and I'm just saying that they select these characters for a reason, and they unleash them on us. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, that we are the ones that are dealing with these things that they're putting out so they can get their feast on, because that's what they're doing with us.
When Derek Chauvin, they chose him because his name as well, DC.
Right, you took down DC. DC, listen, they do things in all these symbolic ways, numbers, acronyms, initials, names, all kinds of things. Everything is it's just all so crazy.
Sorcery.
Yeah, it is. But I wanted to keep you going, guys. But, you know, I wanted to, like, maybe even refresh your memory, because the guy, Isaac Cappy. The guy Isaac Cappy, he was basically a Hollywood guy.
We don't know what's back there. We're not gonna ask.
Yeah, we still don't.
We just letting you know. If y'all know what it is, tell us what it is. We're not gonna go out and look ourselves. But if you have any idea what it is, please leave in the comments.
We don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. When I leave Mexico, when I leave here, I'm going to tell you guys what I actually think it is. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm still here.
That's right.
So, anyway, the guy Isaac Cappy, I'll show you his picture in a second. Isaac Cappy is a guy, he's a Hollywood industry guy. He's one of those kids. And he's you know, let's just say it. He's one of those guys that Kanye is kind of calling out because he's just the industry. So anyhow, he came out a couple of years ago really telling people about the child pedophilia and just how crazy Hollywood is and how unsafe the children are in Hollywood and how they are being sacrificed with murder, rape, all kinds of ritualistic things, and it was just too much for him. He just couldn't take it anymore. And Isaac Cappy committed suicide on May 13th, 2019. There's that 13. So if anybody was wondering if there was anything up with Mr. Isaac Cappy, you are 100% right, because there you have it, you're 13. Okay, they choose these dates specifically.
And
okay,
this was 24 hours after.
Yes.
He said he's not suicidal.
So it says in Wikipedia, okay, it says that in 2019, Cappy committed suicide by jumping from a bridge into oncoming traffic in Arizona. Before his death, Cappy posted a lengthy note on his Instagram account in which he opened up about his drug and alcohol abuse and apologized to Jesus Christ, Donald Trump, and the QAnon. The post was captioned, "Beware the man that has nothing to lose, for he has nothing to protect." Okay? Now, you reading this, you're hearing a really, really sad guy. You're like, oh man, like if you don't know anything about this guy. But if you were a person that actually followed him, you would know that this guy actually posted a video and said that, where is it, honey? Where is it? I'm trying to find the, this is what he looks like. Let me show you what Isaac Cappy looks like, guys. This is Isaac Cappy. This guy, he
So this is the recording right there. So you're gonna go to this the whole thing. If not, this
oh no, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. So I'm gonna play this for you guys, so you can hear what Isaac Cappy said on that video, because they're just saying that he was very apologetic to the people that he was talking shit about and Jesus Christ, and you know, he's basically a junkie and a drunk.
And what highway did he die off of?
I believe it was 66.
66.
I believe it was 66. Let me see here. I want to go. Let me try to go to my email, because for some reason this is not pulling up the video for some reason.
No, just go to YouTube. It'll go right to them.
It wasn't on YouTube.
Oh.
It was in an article.
Oh.
And I sent it to myself. Here it is.
You did. You're smarter than me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important that you guys hear what this guy said, because Wikipedia explained to the world that this guy committed suicide, and right before he did, he said that he was an alcoholic, he was a junkie, and he needed to apologize to Jesus Christ, Donald Trump, and QAnon. Okay? Now, here we are. Where's the video?
It's coming. It's processing. And my darling. Scroll down some. Maybe back one of those. No, maybe back up here.
No, it's this. It just looks even funny here. Like, I don't even know what that is. What's that about?
Click on the screen.
Hold tight, guys. I apologize.
For you.
You guys gotta forgive me, because my computer moves very slow.
Oh. So. Hit that button that says V.
I want to click the picture.
Okay.
See, it's doing that, and I didn't even click the picture. So that's what it did before.
Okay. Alright.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's more. You get that V over there. See that V doesn't. I wish I wasn't stupid.
This is so stupid, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's not working. It was just working.
It's fine.
Anyway, I'll play it for you on my phone, because you know what? They don't want you guys to hear what this guy said. But I'm going to let you hear what he said, because it's very important that you hear what he said. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So let me do this. Let me go here. And of course I didn't here we go.
In the world, and uncovering the darkness in the world, but not enough time uncovering the darkness within me. And what Doug said too, I made a really stupid, cynical, petty, stupid decision this week. And I did it in the blink of an eye. And with as much time as I've spent trying to mitigate risk I kept out of my life that I wanted in my life, but I didn't want to bring harm to them because of all the Illuminati shit. And this struggle against darkness, consumed me. It consumed me. Yeah, I'm a bad guy. I let the darkness consume me, and I didn't spend enough time nurturing the light and love within me. I did something really dumb. I'm not suicidal. Did I do it for money? Yeah, man.
So, in Wikipedia, Mr. Cappy was not mentioned to have said that he was not suicidal. So I'm trying to explain to you guys that these people get marked. They mark you with numbers. The same date that the plane fight happened with Santana was March 13th, 2020. Okay? Isaac Cappy committed suicide on May 13th, 2019. If you don't believe me about the 13, I want you to look at a good friend of mine. He was sharing a clip with me. He was sharing a video with me that he had done. Great work. And I'm just starting to learn about an incident that happened with him. You guys may know him, Mr. Santos Bonacci. Mr. Santos Bonacci. Okay?
Santos Bonacci, Santana's biggest fan.
This is Mr. Santos Bonacci in 2006. You see, Santos is out there getting it. You see, he's out here playing his guitar. He just living his life. He's just an artist. You know, he's hanging out with rock stars and all of these people. But at this time, 2006, Santos is waking up. These are his words. Like he told me in 2006, he was completely awake about everything that was going on. So I was listening to his video, and I want you guys to listen to this clip from his lesson. This is a lesson actually, and you guys should actually watch the whole thing if you haven't already, because it's a really, really good lesson. But it points out exactly where he was marked.
Bang, again, I started losing weight. Because Saturn, there was another alignment which I won't go into. You can check it out. Here's my details here. Born March 24th, 1963 in Wangaratta. It's actually Myrtle Ford, but it doesn't turn up in this in Astro Dynast. So I've put Wangaratta where I went to school in Victoria, Australia. I've put that there. You can do this. Time I was born 4:19 p.m. and you can go to my birthday. Let's do it now. I'd rather be thorough here. 24th of March 22. This is when things started going downhill again.
Listen up.
There you go. Mars was right here on the DC. The DC is
Derek Chauvin.
This is a death point. Okay? When Mars is on the death point, people have died. They say if the sun...
DC, Derek Chauvin is the mark of death.
...is rising and Mars is on the DC, the baby will die. The ancient astrology will die within a week if this happens. And I've seen it in the chart of people who've had stillborns and babies who have died. I've seen it many times. Mars is right here. And this is another point of death here, the IC. The IC is the tomb of midnight, and the DC is the tomb of sunset. The AC, of course, is the strongest point, and the MC is the career point. These two are virtuous, these 2 points, the AC and the MC, glory. And these points are dangerous, because this house here is the house of ill health. And then my health started to decline again, and look where Saturn was at my birthday. There you go, Saturn, 21 degrees. It was before my birthday. I started feeling not well again, and I lost weight, went back down, dropped another 7 kilos, and I've been struggling with that since September, start of September. It's only been a month that I've really restored a little bit of weight back on. So I'm doing all right in that department. So this is when things started going bad again, right? So let me bring you to the current. Here we are, current. Okay, there's Saturn. Now, Saturn will go retrograde till the 23rd of October. Now remember, Saturn rules in my chart till the 17th of October. Let me recount to you what's happened in the last 3 years. On the 13th and the 16th of October.
13.
Each year since 2019. In 2019 I was in Eugene, Oregon, and it was a full moon in Aries. In fact, let me do that chart right now, guys. Let me show you the day a 6'2" big ex-Canadian hockey player came with a baseball bat and a sharp knife to murder Molly and me. And he was bashing her to death. I heard her scream, and I ran in, bare hands, as skinny as I am now, with no weapons. I ran in there to save her life. He'd already bashed her twice with a baseball bat in the head, and he was about to kill her with a third blow. And I burst in there with a thunderous noise and managed to grapple the baseball. All I saw was a baseball bat. I grabbed that baseball bat and he lunged. He fell on top of me, on the couch. I landed on the couch, and this big, massive bear of a man, I'm only 5'7",
The guy's 6'2".
landed on my back, and I remember it was like, whoa, he's broken my back and my neck. And there was a struggle, and then I heard this steel thing coming out of a knife coming out of some sort of a leather pouch, and I thought, oh my God, this guy's serious, he's got a knife. And I reached and grabbed and cut my hands, 3 fingers. I sliced them, it was like razor sharp, and I realised, God damn, this is on. And the angels were with me that day. Without going into detail, Molly and I prevailed. We overcame. Within 15 minutes, he bled to death. The police were there. This was the 13th of October. Let's do this right now.
13th of October.
13th of October.
Alright, so I just want to reiterate that.
Reiterate.
You
say iterate.
Iterate.
You say iterate.
Reiterate.
Yeah, that's a Baltimore word.
That's how y'all say it too, right? So anyway.
Use your vowels.
Huh?
Use your vowels.
I don't have them. I don't know them. I don't know them. So anyway, I want to reiterate. Nerd. I want to let you guys know that I met Santos at the end of 2020. At the end of 2020, right?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve 2020. Right. I met Santos New Year's Eve 2020. Santos pretty much told us to come meet him down in Puerto Morelos because they had a machine, and we're trying to heal our son. So he said that he really believed that it could help my son, and went down there, and that's how we started working with the cancer machines and everything. So that's how we know Santos. And this whole time, we didn't know any of this information. We didn't know any kind of incident like this took place at all.
So let me jump in right real quick. We've been trying to explain to you that there's a program that takes place for our government where they choose people who they're going to kill, and then when they do particular deeds, they're completely erased from the record. There's no record of it. There's another particular case. You're going to find that you look anywhere on the internet that a man died from this fight.
Mm-hmm.
There was no police report taken. This never happened.
This never happened.
This never happened. You look and try to Google Santos Bonacci and any type of murder or a fight or death, it is not there. The police, this whole thing is completely erased because this was a setup. The algorithm shows it was a setup.
Right.
Understand that Santos Bonacci was brought there on October the 13th, but they marked him with the guy he fought with. It was a situation that Santos had no choice because the numbers dictate.
Yeah, the numbers.
Because they sent him and marked him with a 6'2" person.
62.
You got the number 62 that marked him with death. So, if Santos Bonacci would not have fought with all of his life, that would have marked the death of Santos Bonacci.
So trust him when he's telling you that something got in him and gave him all the power to be able to take down this 6'2" man.
That was his sacrifice.
Yes.
It was a setup.
That is what Santos is talking about with the angels.
The angels.
Because it's true. It's true.
It's in the algorithm. But let me go a little bit further.
Yeah, so let me let you go play. So you need to hear about all of the events that were taking place with Santos. Let's hear about his whereabouts and his other dates.
I'd only been in the United States 2019. I'd only been in the United States for 2 months and a week. I came on August 11th.
He came on August the 11th.
August the 11th.
Let's continue going on.
August the 11th is when Santos touched down in the United States. August 11th, 2019.
Can you dig it? Hey, this is history right here.
2019.
Dig it.
Moving to San Francisco from Melbourne. Stayed with Jamie Lee on his ranch near Sacramento, just north of San Francisco. Philo, or Boonsville, just near Boonsville, in Sonoma County. And then I decided to do some touring of syncretism, so I was invited to go up to Portland, Oregon. And on the way, I stayed at Molly's place for a week with my driver, Mari. Molly was a syncretist. She and the guy who came to kill both of us were following my channel for years. Molly was a big fan of syncretism.
So I'm going to put this link in the description because I really think that everybody should listen to this lesson because you also get to know who Santos is as well. So,
there's more.
Yeah, there's more. So anyway, so I'm watching this because the craziest thing is Santos sent me this for a completely different reason. Santos and I were having a conversation about, I could tell you what the conversation was about. It had nothing to do with this whole incident at all. Oh, I know what it was. It had all to do with us finding the scripture of showing what the Christ frequency was going to look like at this time, and we were showing that we even showed you guys that literally it's Santana's exact message freeing the prisoners and giving them vision, making them see. We have the clips on our channel as well. It's called The Big Reveal. But the video that we broke it all down on, I think it's called like Christ Frequency or something like that, if you haven't seen it already. But it's a scripture that specifically states what this Christ frequency is going to bring. I want everybody to understand that nobody is saying that they are Jesus Christ, whatever this image or idea of what that is to you. The Christ frequency is within all of us, and we all have our messages, and that's why we all need to do what we are here to do. So whatever it is that is your true calling, you really need to find out what it is, because it's really there. You really have to find it. But we found Santana's specific story, so it was crazy. So anyway,
and
right. Yeah, it's all in the clip. You guys need to watch it if you haven't seen it. It's
excellent.
It's unbelievable, the revelation that was found, and someone else spelled it out for us, so it made it even better. So anyway, I'm watching this video that he's sending me, because he's basically telling me that, you know, he's been having a crazy time lately. So I'm watching this video and I'm all the way drawn in, and he gets me when he says that this murder took place on October 13th, because as soon as I heard 13, I'm like, oh no. You know, like that was a setup. Like he was marked. It was on the 13th. So then we start listening more, and he says that he had only been here for 2 months, like 2 weeks. He arrived on August 11th, 2019. So I'm like, wait a minute. August 11th, I know August 11th. Some dates I have in my mind because of all the studying that we've done. We are seeing a pattern with events that take place on specific dates. August 11th happens to be one. So I sent him a message and I said, I want to be clear that you arrived here on August 11th. So he sends me a voice message and it says,
in fact, it's funny, because I flew from Melbourne late afternoon, August 11th. 16 hours later, I get to San Francisco, and it's still August the 11th, because Australia's ahead by about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 hours. So it's funny because you don't expect that sometimes. I left Australia, sitting in a plane for 16 hours, and it's the same day when I get to San Francisco. Crazy. But I knew that was the power date, man.
So let me explain something to you.
You can't make this shit up, you guys.
So dig it. What I want to explain to you is this.
We knew exactly what he was talking about. You want to know how? Because the same situation happened to us with March 13th. Because we left. It was an extremely long day because we were from Africa.
It was on the 13th.
Yes, it was on the 13th. And then we landed in Brussels.
And it was
13th. The 13 never ended. And on top of the fact that we had to communicate with the States so much. So we were stuck in the 13th for a long ass time. Santos was stuck in the 11th. It was imperative that they got him on that portal date.
Exactly. And more important, it was imperative that if you're familiar with the algorithm and how all of it works and how it's chosen, August the 24th, 1973 was the birth of David Chappelle. He was born 13 days after August the 11th, 1973, which is known as the official start of hip-hop.
It's up here. Let's show them.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, people like to see things because, where is it? Here we go. August 11th, 1973.
So on August 11th, 1973, a message came from the Bronx, from the ether. It's the most powerful message that's been circling the globe. That's been circling the world, because we're not on the damn globe, for the past 50 years. And it's come up on 50 years. It's hip-hop. Now, understand that it was hip-hop this time around, but the message and the energy is still the same strength, message, and energy. The way I like to explain it to you is like Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. David Chappelle was born on August the 24th, 1973, which made him the rightful owner of the energy that we're calling hip-hop. But because Mr. Chappelle did not take advantage of his God-given talent, it appears that they've chosen Santos Bonacci to give a message. Best way I can explain it is like Mike Tyson was born with God-given talent, and Evander Holyfield worked harder. And for the date that the message and the energy came back to the Americas, the date was August the 19th.
August
11th, 2019. A day that was imperative, and not only imperative that Santos got here, they literally made him replay that same date twice in one day. So I am very much convinced that the message has been passed on to Santos to deliver a message. For those who aren't familiar with him, Mr. Santos Bonacci, the numbers dictate that, like I say, use it or lose it. And Mr. Chappelle is not using it. And it's not an accident, but when all this COVID happened, this messenger was brought to America on this fateful date when the energy was prophesied to be resurrected. And it's not an accident that this same energy was marked for death on October the 13th. And you're going to find that the person who he got an altercation with was 6'2". So understand, there's a 62. He was marked with the number 62 by the person he had altercation with. So for all those who have not heard the entire story that Mr. Bonacci is giving you and is telling you that angels intervene, I will assure you that Mr. Bonacci was marked for death by a 6'2" brute of a man
on October
13th. But because he has a message so powerful that needs to be delivered, he was spared and the angels intervened. He's telling the truth.
He had almost a 48-hour period of being in August and 11th.
So understand, for you folks who are supporters of Santos Bonacci, what I want to explain to you is you're not a supporter of Santos Bonacci. If you're a supporter of Santos Bonacci, you need to be there a lot stronger and make sure everything he needs, he has taken care of, because he is carrying a very, very strong message. I think we've all figured out I'm the light bringer. That's kind of obvious, but we'll talk about me later because I'm all in the algorithm. And of course, I'm Can You Dig It? No rounds above the Phoenix. Can you dig it? But I want you to understand this. This is how it works. I want you to understand that a murder took place and there is no record of this. None at all. I'm going to show you a gentleman's another story where there was a murder attempt on his life and everything's completely erased. It's the same way that the plane fight with me, it appears there's no existence of it, it's completely gone. The same way the fight that took place on Judge Judy when the men attacked me, there's no record in the criminal, there's no record at all. In addition to that, you're going to find the young lady, Warnos, what's her first name? Eileen Warnos. There's a program that allows them to delete everything from your record so it's not visible. You're going to find that the gentleman who raped Eileen Warnos served 10 years in a Maryland state prison for rape, but that was erased from her record.
Was it Maryland?
It was Maryland.
Wow.
It was erased from his record. So they gave her a trial stating that this man was an honest man with no criminal record, knowing full well that this man
was
had
a rapist.
been in prison for rape. So understand that Eileen Warnos was framed. She was framed. She was never supposed to receive the death penalty. It was the whole thing.
But she requested it.
She requested it because she said she didn't want to keep all the trial.
Yeah, because exactly.
But she gave them what they wanted.
Yeah.
Because they wanted out. So I want you to understand that it's in the numbers. I want you to understand that they get you in the system and they put you in situations where you have to choose life or death at certain times. And I assure you, because Mr. Bonacci was attacked by a 6'2" man, that number 62 is an indicator of death. Death was going to take place. Either he or that man and the angels dictated that Santos had a message. If you follow Santos, truly follow him, and be there all the way for him. If he needs some money, you find some way to get him what the fuck he needs. You make his life comfortable. Help get his message out there. Because if you get his message out there, we can get my message out there, because my message fixes everything. But y'all need to hear it from him first. So I need y'all to listen to him so he can just send y'all back to me, essentially. That's fucked up, right?
Hey, that's what it is. No, but listen.
That's what they're
We're trying to find all the Christ frequencies. Yeah, we're trying to find it all.
So if y'all gotta hear it from him first,
Right.
for him to say, "Hey, you want to listen to some of the things?"
Y'all like him better, right? Well, look what we found.
Hey,
Look.
listen, one more thing. For some people who are brand new to Mr. Santos Bonacci, I want you to give him a pass for some of his language. He has been fighting a singular fight for
Yeah, and he's
a long
tired.
time.
And y'all hear us.
By himself.
Yes.
No one stuck it out with this guy. So he's frustrated. He's fucking. He's
and
tired.
He's tired. He's
because
just
everybody's
disgusted.
talking shit about
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, but they watching him go through some shit. You understand that he's being tortured. They have devices on him when he's getting tortured. He's getting physically tortured with weapons.
Yes. He can't even sleep.
Yeah.
He can't even sleep. Like, literally, they've got him.
If he had followers, these things wouldn't be happening to them. All I'm saying is that. I'm not a follower of Santos. I'm Santos' biggest. Santos is my biggest fan.
Well, you know what? I consider Santos more of a friend. Like, he holds a certain place with us because
I'm a messenger.
He was
Santos is a messenger.
From the beginning.
Santos is a messenger. I'm a messenger. Everybody says it's just one messenger. It's a whole bunch of different messages. I speak English, so I can only give but so much of a message.
Yeah, he speak a bunch of shit.
Damn right, but understand, my message is the message of healing and light. I am the light bringer. I'm the light bringer. I think that's clearly obvious. My technology literally is nothing more than manipulation of light that I am giving to humanity. So that's my frequency. I'm the bringer of light. Santos is the bringer of, I'll let him describe what he brings, but he has a message, and he has a very, very powerful frequency behind him. So it would be really nice if some of his followers can help raise his frequency, so he can ride the momentum of the power that's been that he has inherited, because Mr. Chappelle has decided that he was not going to use it.
So I think that we really wanted to get that information out about Santos, because it's like, man, when we realize that he's riding a wave of hip hop energy, it's like, listen, nothing was more powerful than hip hop. We haven't seen anything more powerful than hip hop in our day and age, and he's riding on that wave, and he's got it.
Santos Bonacci is the is known as the greatest astrologer on the planet right now.
He is.
So for me to be able to point out something in his algorithm that he's been made aware of is a very, very powerful thing. But also, you have to understand that Mr. Bonacci was set up.
Yeah.
This whole thing was set up. And he's a good man. And I would say this. Knowing that a situation was biblical and there was going to be a loss of life, and the Creator chose for you to remain here, it says a lot.
Yeah, man.
And for me, it eases my conscience. It eases my conscience to know the story, even though I haven't heard the entire story. The numbers clearly dictate and write everything it says. And I am not a numerologist. I just have a special set of eyes.
Yeah. But this is an amazing lesson. I think you guys should really watch this and take this seriously. Look at your numbers. You know what I mean? Look at your numbers, because it's in all of us. It's in all of us. I assure you. And everybody has a role. Everybody, if you think that you're being watched, it's because you are being watched, and you are a star. You are a star. You're not getting paid, but the stars here get paid. But you're a star, trust me. And you will find the numbers. It's always in the numbers. So we wanted to share that with you guys. And listen, we really want to give the message that these politics and all of these things are just to create division between humanity. Okay? Alright? all of these fights that are out here that the media is pushing are just to create division.
Can I give you some good news?
And we are all about us having independence and us having liberty and freedom and all of that good stuff.
And
you know,
we
want it
have some
for
fantastic
everyone.
news for you. Here's some fantastic news for you that you haven't considered. If you haven't, please let me be the first to allow you to consider some fantastic news. We, Generation X, let me say that. We, the folks that are living today, right now, who resisted the vaccines, are the strongest generation. You know, the World War I generation can no longer stake that claim. We are now the strongest generation.
Yeah.
You understand that people who did not take that vaccine was ostracized by their families.
Yeah.
They were ostracized by television, calling them anti-vax.
Their job, their friends.
Policy. Some people went to jail. Some people died. But you understand that this humanity, what was beautiful that everyone seemed to have missed is that the pandemic is over. And whether we hate the people who started it or not, humanity stood up for something finally. We are the bravest generations, the ones that stood up and said, under no circumstances am I going to allow consent to be taken from me and this being put in my body. So I want you to consider just how beautiful and brave you are to have withheld from the pressures, because these pressures were tough.
They were.
I know family members who won't speak to their children, and children were allowed to come to their houses because of this fake thing they created. I know there was a matter of fact, they said they had a particular amount of people that was supposed to die because of this. In England, we're gonna put the ad. There's an ad in England right now where they're speculating a particular amount of deaths. You have it available? So they're doing their protocols and they're trying to figure out how many deaths. If you want to please follow this, you're going to find that in Australia, the Australian government has already begun to start paying back family members funeral expenses of people who died from the vaccines. That's an acknowledgement. In the UK, COVID has been declared over. So you have in Florida, the Santos Surgeon General has made a statement stating that it's bad for your health, and in particular between 18 and 49 years old man, it's very possible that you're going to suffer from myocarditis. So you have people openly saying this, and you had the president say out of his own mouth of that zombie thing he's living out of, he's whatever he's pretending to be, that the pandemic is over, which means that it doesn't feel like it right now, but humanity won. It's terrible, but you understand that we've been through a period where people were allowed to poison old people, and people have been allowed to poison the water, poison the air, and poison the babies, and people just stood around and just went along with it. You understand that this made everybody say, okay, enough is enough. The ones who said enough is enough. And who knew this was going to take? But if you withstood this and stood your truth and did not allow yourself to be poisoned, be proud of yourself that you stood your ground and you believed in your truth. It was a great time for you to believe in yourself. For those who took the vaccine, listen, my son's vaccine damaged, so I ain't talking shit about you. I believe the shit they told me to. So we can tell you about healing. So they tell you that there's no way to heal it. I'm gonna get in a conversation with Mr. Bonacci, and we're gonna walk you through some artwork together, and he'll help do the numbers while we're going through the artwork, so we can show you how we heal you. But you notice this is what the this is some newspaper article in the UK. You see they're saying COVID vaccines projected to cause 62.3 million cardiovascular deaths in 2022 worldwide. that number 2 is a marker of death. I'm sorry, number
62
is a marker of death. If you've been following,
62.
you've been following these things. I want you to understand that these things are not random. These things aren't happening.
Just like the guy who attacked Santos Bonacci was 6'2".
Yes. So we get marked.
Come on, guys. They're trying to mark us all day long. And look at this.
But we won, and we won.
I want you guys
so
to
just
see
know
this.
that
If you guys don't already know.
And I had a long day.
No, that's not it.
So I'm gonna let Ariel finish this up with some. You gonna just do that rap?
What rap?
Ariel wrote a rap.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it another time. Yeah, that rap. I'm gonna do it later.
Touché.
But this is what is happening in Australia, guys. Deceased COVID-19 vaccine recipient payment and funeral costs, and it gives you what you need. So listen, the countries are acknowledging that the vaccines are poison.
This is what I've been screaming.
This is what Australia. It got so out of hand that the morgues, they don't even have space in the morgues for the people that have died.
From the vaccines, clarify. It's from the vaccines.
So from the vaccines, these guys, they're just over flooded with death. And
the Australian government has released an apology.
Yep. So
it's poison. I try to tell you.
If you're not waking up, let this wake you up, because an entire country has agreed to pay for funeral costs because of the vaccine recipients. Okay? So please don't make it about politics. Don't make it about black, white. Don't make it about anything. Like, look at what happened to us. Look what they did. Look at this. Look at who you've lost. Look at who you. I mean, for me, it's not so bad because it's like, you know.
How many friendships and relationships?
You know, but people really lost a lot, and like to have to start over. People are so lonely now because they had to start completely over, especially if they were the only one in their family that could see what was going on, and I know that is definitely going on. So we're gonna have to find a way to coexist with each other. That's all I'm saying, because
at least we got one thing we agree on. We can agree. We now know that at least we stood up for this one thing.
Yeah, we did, for sure, guys, and we need to rally and be proud of ourselves because we did.
Congratulate ourselves for standing up.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Let's do an online party for everybody against the tyranny, because listen, we won.
Yeah, let's come up with a good date. Y'all give us a good date that we can have like a celebration for the people that stood their ground and said that we are absolutely not doing this.
We're gonna do a stand my ground. We stood our ground TikTok. We're gonna make a beautiful TikTok.
Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. I don't know how to do TikTok. We don't know how to do nothing. Great idea. So anyway, so guys, I wanted to share that information with you guys. And listen, this documentary that Candace Owens did is
disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's really, really gross. And it was a way to get this out. It was because listen guys, we cannot live this existence where we don't want to know, or we put so much of blinders on us about what race we are and what side we're supposed to be on, that we put on blinders to what's really going on.
It's not about race.
You know, so I do believe that part of what Candace is putting out there and Kanye are putting out there, that is accurate. Like, you know, like we can't just. That's how we've gotten here.
Tell Kanye to say a real is an eye focus.
Kanye, say a real is an eye focus experience and everything is over.
Across the world, if he says a real is an eye focus.
Listen, you want to keep looking up where all these companies are on the chain, the food chain. Look up Essilor Luxottica. Look them up. I bet you haven't looked at them.
Yeah.
So look it up. But anyway, that is the point of view when. You can see when it starts to get trashy. You know, you can see when it starts to get trashy. So, you guys, if you guys are into politics and you guys are gonna believe any of these people, that is all up to you. But I am telling you that they are all deceiving liars.
And also,
Okay.
the link, Stoney Pebbles, tell you another story from another guy.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put in the Stoney Pebbles interview. If you guys haven't seen it, we're gonna put that in the description so you can hear another story about this person who was in a crazy incident, and then the record just completely disappeared, like it never happened.
Did it with Kenya?
So we're just gonna keep bringing this to you guys until you guys can completely see what's going on, and maybe you guys can say like, hey, what's going on with me, because it's powerful stuff. It's powerful stuff, but you have to know that most of these things are not a mistake.
And I want to also let you know this. Santos Bonacci is definitely a messenger from message.
Definitely, and he's
Now,
got a real message, y'all.
he does.
Listen,
I gotta
his
confirm a
message
couple
is
things.
real.
And I have to confirm some things with him. So, just FYI, me and Santos are still fighting ideologically. We fighting about stuff. Me and Santos. So what I'm saying to you is he has a message, and I will walk with him and support him with the same message of love. Santos is his own man. He say something that you don't like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm my own man and vice versa. I don't control nothing that comes out of his mouth, and he nor I. But he has a powerful message that I think it needs some listening to. Can you dig it?
Well, it definitely needs some listening to, because Santos has a wealth of information and a wealth of experience more than anything. Like, this dude has been, they've been throwing him in jail. Like, he has been traveling this map, and he's doing his part. I mean, he's doing as much of this part as he can do. You got to understand, it is hard out here to do anything, and to get people to come along with you and do the things that are really necessary. It is very, 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 very difficult.
And no one's come.
So it makes a person very angry. It can make a person even very ugly, and you have to, I'm just saying, you need to listen to what people are saying. Just listen. So that is it. I wanted to give you guys that information because I know that it's so much stuff going on about the George Floyd thing. And like I said, if you guys want me to do my commentary, because I have a whole commentary about her ridiculous documentary, how I can just see straight through her and show you when she's just pushing policy. So if you want that, I'll give it to you. But me personally, I don't like to put those images out there of the whole thing. It's toxic. So, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are when you see this. We are out until next time.